everyone was needing help. People on one side of the city didn't realize that the other side was just as bad. And the hardest thing for me, and I know some of the other officers, is just seeing the hurt on people, knowing how much they've lost. Literally a quarter of our city was gone. So knowing what all the people were going to have to go through to get their lives somewhat back to normal was probably the most difficult part.
I came back from Iraq a couple years ago, and the devastation, the debris, it took me back to Baghdad after a car bombing. We have shrapnel, deaths through legs, people not moving, casualties, some bad casualties.
It just assaulted the senses. You smell gas and fire and just that earth scent as it's churned up. It was absolutely heartbreaking to see it so fresh, so raw, so immediate. And probably the most heartbreaking part was the sounds that still ring in my head to this day. People screaming for help from under debris. They are trying to remove the heavier debris so they can get to someone at the bottom of that rubble. And then the silence when the emergency personnel can't get to them in time.
We have kind of the basic stuff, first aid kit, some gloves, which proved to be very handy that day, and just some heavy-duty boots. People were running around looking for their loved ones, asking if they've seen their pets.
Oh, red dog! Anybody?
We'll look for it if we see it. We're looking for it. It was sad to see animals affected by it because they had nowhere to go. They had nowhere to take shelter. You could see injured horses roaming free in the pasture. Some of those horses had to be put down just because they were so badly injured. Periodically, you could hear gunshots in the distance, which was very heartbreaking.
No, this right here, that's the Plaza Towers Elementary School. We're just north of 19th Street, south of 4th Street.
I have been told that this is no longer a search and rescue operation. It's now a recovery mission. It is my understanding that there are up to 24 children trapped at the bottom of that school right now.
Patients that I see that complain about dry mouth, they feel like they have to drink a lot of water. Medications seem to be the number one cause for dry mouth. Dry mouth can cause increased cavities, bad breath, oral irritation. I like to recommend Biotene. Biotene has a full array of products that replenishes the moisture in your mouth. Biotene definitely works. It makes patients so much happier.
There were 7 children who didn't make it out alive. And I understand they're going to start pulling these tiny victims out of the rubble here shortly. But there's one image that stands out in my mind. I saw the search and rescue personnel, and they're heaving tiny desks and chairs up in the air. And then beneath all of that, there are children who unfortunately didn't make it out alive.
The sun's setting.
That's the end of where the first grade classrooms were. After the tornado, there were these levels of accepting how serious the situation was. I felt like I needed to process everything. So I went back. There's a car in the middle of Mrs. Goodman's classroom. I saw X's spray painted. I knew that meant that the first responders had gone through everything, checking to see if there had been loss of life. We were just so fortunate. That was the girls' bathroom, and there is the boys' bathroom. This is where we were first lined up when I was texting parents and friends, and the lights had gone out, and then we went into the bathrooms. That's my door right there. As teachers, your classroom is like your second home, not only for yourself, but for your students.
Damn, Mary
It's
just knocked
hard
down
to
the stuff.
see your classroom home just destroyed. A place that used to be full of kids' laughter and learning and activity and all that kind of fun stuff just ripped apart. But I was so fortunate. Did not lose my home like so many, my children's lives, and my own life. It's a reminder that our time is short. Appreciate your loved ones, appreciate the time that you have.
One foot was wedged here. Noah was behind me. He was grabbing my leg. He had his foot against the door. I was back here.
I was between the toilet and the wall, hanging on the toilets to make sure that I don't go up with the tornado.
But I remember the walls felt like they were going to come. Pressing and pressing. Pushing. Just like this. But I guess it was enough force to keep this off, and I pushed this and
Because his legs was holding up these walls, and his hands was like pulling up this wall, like kind of like standing up in the air, just making sure that those walls didn't crash down on us. Yeah, it was hovering over. Almost all of us. Like an umbrella. And it felt really scary.
I pushed everything. It was all over. I just pushed everything and just started throwing stuff out, and you could see.
Those walls almost crushed us, but my dad, he saved our lives. He grabbed those walls and threw them.
First boy out, second boy out. Benji, another boy out.
If it wasn't for my dad, we would probably not be here right now. He'd probably be under rubble.
These are, let's say, dictionaries right there. That's what did it. We got out.
Sam was here that day because if he wasn't there and then the walls still kept on falling, it probably would have crushed all of us. He was a big hero.
I'm not the hero. Those guys are the heroes. Those kids are the heroes. I just help.
Anytime you have fatalities in your city, you feel somewhat responsible for that. You know, you don't want anyone to die in your city, especially kids. But just seeing that it had gone through several schools, just looking at the center of it, I didn't know how anyone could survive.
My kids were okay. Going through something like that really teaches you to be grateful for what you have, because I just saw my neighbors lose everything.
Oklahomans are very tough and resilient. You care about your neighbor. It's you last and everybody else first. And that's the kind of love that you feel here in Oklahoma. When we first came into the damage path, there was an American flag hanging from a tree. I don't think somebody put it up there because we were there that soon, and it was hanging there. That image right there kind of stuck out of my head, like, why is that flag hanging from the tree just like that when so many houses were gone? We actually had minor damage at my house, but 100 yards away, there's nothing left.
We didn't lose our house, but I knew that there was still a lot of tragedy. Okay, I know my family is okay, but I know that there are many, many families out there that are not.
Well, it ended up being 3/4 of a mile south of my house, but at the same time, it just devastated so many people. And that's why you got to live life one day at a time and protect our loved ones and our fellow man.
Oklahomans are very strong people. You just gotta help one another, you know? And that's exactly what we did. We helped each other.
When Mother Nature is at her worst, human nature is at its very best. You look at more today, and this community is rebuilding, bigger and better and stronger. And it's because of the resilience of Oklahomans. It's the Oklahoma standard that we have grown accustomed to here. And to see that, that is the good that's come out of May 20th.
The end. Thanks for watching.